This video will describe two different options on the EZ-Reader. First is the lock channel feature, and the second is the forced test mode. To enter these options, select the menu key, and then you will go to your setup menu. The lock feature is in the top right corner. There are three different options available on this reader. In this screen, you can see that the lock feature is turned off. To turn on the lock feature, you will press the button, and you will need to enter the level 3 password, which is the word level and the numbers 321. Hit enter. And the first lock option you have is what's called lock default. So what this means is if we press exit and we go back to the main screen, it automatically loads the calibration parameters for the Emerald BL1 test. So the default channel on the EZ-Reader is automatically loading the calibration values for the Emerald BL1 test. This lock mode facilitates the reader so it automatically loads these calibration parameters, and the reader's not actually waiting those few seconds to identify the actual color on the end of the ROSA test. For high volume customers, this saves them time, but it also utilizes the color sensor feature of the EZ-Reader. So if somebody did enter a different strip, say in this case a light blue Emerald AFMQ strip, the reader would still automatically sense that the strip color was different and load the proper calibration values. To exit out of this mode, there is an escape key. If you hold your finger or a stylus over this EZ-Reader in the bottom right hand corner, you will get back to your main menu. Here you can press the setup button again, and you can press the lock key. You will have to enter your level 3 password. And the last lock feature is what's called lock last. Lock last means it will default to the last test that was run. It will load the calibration parameters for the last test that was run on that reader. So again, if the last test we ran was Emerald AFMQ, it will load the calibration values for Emerald AFMQ. If a customer then put in a 1-minute test, the dark blue again, it would load the calibration values for the 1-minute test and stay on that channel mode until another test was run. To again exit out of this mode, press the EZ-Reader symbol, press setup, press lock last, enter your level 3 password, and we'll turn the mode off. So basically this lock feature is a toggle between the 3 lock modes. If we hit escape back to the main menu, this concludes the lock feature of the EZ-Reader. One other feature of the EZ-Reader is found under the main menu, under your setup menu. This is what's called a forced test mode. Here on the right hand side, the third button down is what's called forced test. Forced test is used in the event that the EZ-Reader is not recognizing the color at the end of the strip properly. So if the reader is not recognizing the dark blue color in this Emerald BL1 test, you have tried to recolor calibrate the reader and that still does not work, as a way to enable the reader to still function and for a customer to run a test, you can actually force the reader to force the calibration of a test. And what this means is it disables the color sensor, and it's forcing the reader to read whatever strip is entered in the reader as that channel. So here if we select force test, we will enter our level 3 password, so level 321, hit enter, and the reader now asks you which channel or which test do you want to force the reader to interpret. So if we skip ahead, we're going to select the Emerald BL test. This is our 8-minute beta-lactam tetracycline combination test. If we select OK, it'll automatically load the calibration parameters for the MRL-BL TET test. And if we pan out here for a minute, what we're going to do is show you that if we put in a blue strip, which is your MRL-BL1, it is going to load and it's going to still remain on that screen for MRL-BL TET. So the color sensor does not detect the blue color and it does not change the channel calibration. If we remove this and we add the light blue, which is your MRL-AFMQ test, again, the color sensor in this force test mode is inactivated and will not load the proper calibration values. So you're in essence forcing the reader to interpret every strip that's put into it as that MRL-BL TET test. To get out of this mode, you can select the Easy Reader symbol in the lower right hand corner. You want to select your setup key and then go back to force test, enter your level 3 password, and we're going to select this option here where it says turn off force test execution. So if we hit OK, it'll default back to your normal screen. Whereas if you select the dark blue MRL-BL1 test, put that into the reader, it will load the proper calibration values. So this concludes the instructions on how to use and operate the force test and lock channel features on the Easy Reader.